Recently, frightening new information regarding David's girlfriend Celeste's murder has come to light. According to shocking revelations from a private investigator, she was murdered inside David's house. However, that is only the start. You will get shivers from what he shared next. Let's dissect it. The internet was stunned by the discovery. Employees at a Hollywood impound lot were unaware that they were going to solve one of the year's most unsettling celebrity-related mysteries when they noticed a strong, foul stench coming from an abandoned Tesla on September 8, 2025. After being pulled from a roadway close to the Hollywood Hills on September 5th, the car had only been in the lot for 3 days, accruing parking penalties that would ultimately result in its seizure. Given that the body was wrapped in plastic packaging and was badly decomposed, it is likely that the death occurred weeks or even months before it was discovered. In order to wait for comprehensive forensic testing, including toxicology studies that could take months to complete due to the advanced state of decomposition, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office postponed making a determination regarding the cause of death. However, there were telltale signs that would shortly expose this case. The deceased wore a gold necklace, a gold ring, black slacks, and a black shirt. The tattoo on the right index finger was the most recognizable and eerie feature of the whole study. It was a simple word. The 20-year-old musician who had become extremely famous thanks to TikTok and viral songs was the owner of the Tesla itself. David Anthony Burke is a young artist who goes by David in his professional life. David, who was reared in Houston, Texas, after being born in Queens, New York, began his career by making Fortnite montage videos on YouTube. In order to avoid copyright difficulties, he eventually produced his own music. Romantic Homicide, his breakout track, catapulted him into the public eye, landing him a record deal with Interscope Records and generating millions of views on various platforms. The finding caused the internet to go into overdrive and detectives to scramble. Celeste, who was born to immigrant parents from El Salvador, had a concerning history of escaping from home, as evidenced by police records that showed she was reported absent on at least 3 separate occasions in 2024. However, a terrifying element that was impossible to overlook was what really set off the conflagration of rumors. David and Celeste Rivas both got that same tattoo on their right index finger. Users connected the dots, shared screenshots from Discord conversations, examined old images, and implied that the two had been in contact, possibly even in a romantic connection, making the matching ink the main topic of innumerable social media posts. Entering the scene is the private investigation. The inquiry took a sharp turn when the LAPD handled this as an open death investigation rather than a homicide case, stressing that no proof of foul play had been instantly proven. This would yield important new information regarding the actual events that took place in the weeks and months preceding the discovery. 9 days after the death was discovered, on September 17, 2025, LAPD officers carried out a search warrant at the mansion in the Hollywood Hills that David had been renting for about $20,000 a month, a property worth $3.6 million to $4 million. The raid was systematic and widespread. Officers performed forensic testing, mainly searching for blood evidence, and confiscated a digital video recorder from the property's CCTV system. Following the police raid, Mayadin Trifunovic, the property owner, was left in a very frustrating situation. He asserts that he never heard much from the LAPD on what they had taken, what they had discovered, or any potential ties his property might have taught his unfortunate instance. Thus, Trifunovic took a risk. To carry out a parallel investigation into the case, he engaged Steve Fisher, a seasoned professional, as his own private investigator. Fisher's contribution would turn out to be crucial. Reports surfaced on October 18, 2025, describing surveillance footage Fisher had taken from nearby residences in the Hollywood Hills neighborhood. Something that is absolutely essential to comprehending the chronology of events was captured in this video. The Tesla's last confirmed movement was on July 29. Despite considerable motion blur, the driver can be seen in the security footage when the Tesla is driven close to a camera. Because of the seriousness of the ongoing LAPD case, Fisher has purposefully kept the driver's identity a secret from the public. Even though he has identified him internally, the sinister reality starts to show. Fisher started piecing together a timetable that was significantly more unsettling than anyone had first thought as his inquiry progressed. He learned that David had parked and abandoned the Tesla in late July, right before he set off on his now-canceled Withered World Tour, which was supposed to start on August 5, 2025. Before those parking violations ultimately resulted in its towing, the car had acquired caked-on grime that suggested lengthy neglect, sitting unused for weeks. However, when Fisher presented his theory regarding Celeste's true death date and location, it was his most startling admission. Fisher thinks Celeste died considerably earlier than the July discovery, potentially as early as January, based on the physical evidence he had gathered in February 2025, and that it took place at another rental home in the Hollywood Hills that David had rented, roughly a mile down the same street. According to Fisher's inquiry, there may have been complex but ultimately unsuccessful attempts to dispose of Celeste's body in a more permanent way. He described what he found as frightening, sadistic material. According to Fisher's theory, Celeste may have died from a terrible drug overdose that was covered up to prevent controversy. Crucially, Fisher makes it clear that he has no concrete proof of foul play or David's direct role in the death, preferring to concentrate on the concealing element. David's career has suffered greatly as a result. Soon after the incident, his entire global tour was canceled. The discovery of the body. Profitable brand alliances with businesses like Hollister and Crocs were canceled, and all record marketing were stopped. Although he has said nothing in public, David has apparently been working with investigators and has hired well-known defense lawyer Blair Burke. David gave his mother ownership of 2 properties in the Houston region on September 18 and 22, 2025. Actions that followed a swatting incident at one of the Texas residences and the LAPD's raid. The case is still pending as of October 19, 2025. While awaiting toxicology results, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office has postponed determining the cause of death. No suspects have been identified, and no one has been taken into custody, and suspicion still looms large over this sad case. I appreciate